Got people out there on my internet, don't we? Hey, how's it going? Jim Adkins here from Jim Adkins Results Coaching and 10th Degree Dad. Kind of had a weird idea this morning that on the way in, it's kind of a weird angle. Can you see Yoda? He's still back there over my shoulder. He's like my little conscience right there. That wasn't the weird thought. The weird thought on the way in this morning was after yesterday, and this is my reflective tendency to learn, okay? So bear with me. As a 10th degree dad, I find that there are moments that I might consider hypocritical. Now, what is a hypocritical moment? Well, it's a moment when you realize that you're telling people one thing and you might be doing the other, or this thing that you're telling them not to do, right? I think we've all had a hypocritical moment. So what did I realize? Well, it's a long way around the barn. You ready? Saddle up. Okay. I have been a martial artist for a very long time. It has been my life. It's just how it is. Everything I've ever done in my life centers around or martial arts. That's just who I am. One of the who I ams, right? And because of that, I learned and was raised with different facets of what a martial artist is or could be. Okay, hang on with me here, because as a dad, I'm going to tell you some things you want to know. Okay, as a young martial artist, it was my belief that I was studying to defend myself, and to defend myself meant to learn to fight. And listen, that was a truth at the time. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who believe that now. Now, this video is not going to be all about martial arts. Okay, so bear with me. Don't jump off. It has a purpose. Just follow me. So that was my belief at the time. And as I grew up and learned more about the martial arts and the people involved, I learned that there was a whole lot more than just learning to fight. Learning to fight was just a little piece of it. Those physical abilities suddenly started giving me confidence, not just in the fact that I could kick people's butt, but in the fact that if I tried, I could do anything. It really, you watch your instructor, and I remember Mr. Mawson telling me one time he had a really great spinning hook kick. And I was trying, I was failing. And he told me one time, he said, "Can you see me do it in your head?" And I closed my eyes, and I was really young. And I said, "Yeah, I can see. I can. Am I doing it perfectly?" I said, "Yes, sir. You're doing it perfectly." He says, "Go home and practice in your mind, and let that vision of me doing the kick become you doing the kick." And pretty soon, now my kick wasn't as perfect as his, obviously, because he's a great instructor, and I love Mr. Mawson, but I got it. And I was able to do it. So those physical abilities changed my mind on what it was that martial arts was about. It was about self-improvement. It was about betterment. It was about confidence. It was about the ability to look at something and know that if I wanted it, I could do it. I could have it. And that freed me up. Well, you grow up, right? Then you get your black belt. And what happens in martial arts is you start believing that you're tough and that you got to save the world and protect everybody. Well, these paradigms start to become your manifested truth or destiny, and it radiates throughout everything that you do, and judgment starts to set in. What do I mean by judgment? Well, when you get to a point to where you surpass confidence and you know everything, and trust me, I've been here 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 times in my life where you know everything, you get a little arrogant and you believe that your way is the only way. And you voice your opinion sometimes. And in doing so, hopefully you learn. This is where the hypocritical moment comes in. My whole life has been that roller coaster. I know everything. What am I doing? I got so much more to learn. No, I know everything. No, I've got so much more to learn and meet this new teacher and meet this new idea. And no, I know everything. And in my I know everything moments, I'm telling everybody else that I know everything too. And I know this, if you were listening and you're a martial artist, you've done this. If you haven't done it, you ain't got a black belt yet. Because when you get your black belt, you've done it at least 2 or 3 times. And as a black belt moving forward, you're going to do it 2 or 3 more times. It's just going to happen. I know you may be saying, "No, not me, but trust me." It happens. So if you're a dad, have you done it before? Yeah. How's it going, Cindy? Now, I can only speak as a dad, Cindy, so I can't speak for moms, but I was going to say 10th degree parent, but every parent's different. But I know that my dad did this. I witnessed grandpa doing this, and I've done it, so I can speak as a dad. Don't do this. Don't drink. Don't stay out late. Don't drive fast. Um, don't have so and so over at the house when I'm gone. Don't talk back. Don't be a smartass. Don't. These are all things that, as a dad, you've done in the past, and you've learned that they're probably not the best thing for your child to do. So you tell them not to do it. So my question is, are you hypocritical because you've done it, and now you're telling them not to do it? Or does it make you a hypocrite when you tell them not to and you continue to do it? So the question, right? Learn from experience. Boy, this is something you probably shouldn't do. And you share that with your child. You really shouldn't do this because is that lessons learned and advice from a sage, or is it hypocritical? Well, you got to do it. Yeah, but things were different then. That's a hypocritical excuse. Okay. If you made the mistake and you can tell them and try to get them to learn from it, that might be advice. But if you continue the pattern, it becomes hypocritical. Here's my fallback. Because I've been a martial, there's my excuse. Did you hear that word? Because I've noticed that as a martial artist, how's that for rewording? I still have a tendency to think I know everything at times. And to be honest with you, I do. I know everything that pertains to the way I feel at the moment. I can honestly tell you at any moment everything about what's happening and how I feel about it. That's just in my world. I think you can do that too, but I'm joking with you. Let's do this. Don't bash other martial artists. Don't judge other people. How many of you still do that? Even though we know it's not the right thing to do, we don't judge other people. We don't know their circumstances. We don't know their story. We don't know what's taking place today, tomorrow, yesterday in their life. Even if we do, we may not fully understand what they're going through. So to judge them based on what we feel, we think is absolutely the right way to do something, is that hypocritical or is it blind? Well, it's only hypocritical if you tell somebody else not to do it and then still do it yourself. So as a 10th degree dad, it's important to recognize, for all you other 10th degree dads out there, or 10th degree parents, or even a 10th degree mentor, right? And you don't have to be a 10th degree. It's just a term I'm using. Look at yourself first and realize that the advice that you might be giving is going to be golden advice, but it might be there or come out because you need to hear it too. It's top on your thought chain. It's the top process that you're dealing with today, and you want to reflect on it. Here's my yesterday. Don't judge other people. Don't tell people what they should or shouldn't do based on what you think they could be doing. Let it go. Just let things go. There's a point in your life when whatever you focus on, you get more of. And as a martial artist, I have a tendency to focus on trying to save, teach, or help everybody. And when you do that, you find yourself drawing more negative to you than positive. Why? Because not everybody wants to be helped. Not everybody needs to be saved. And not everybody wants to think the way you think. Kind of a weird thing today, right? It was just something that I did. And there's specifics on my martial arts page. The last video that I that I did, I let the martial arts world back in. And trust me, in that world, there are a lot of negative people. And it's not, I don't want to say it's not their fault because it is their own fault, but think about a world that 50% of the people, I'm making that number up, but 50% of the people train to fight and hurt other people. And the other 50% train to fight and protect people from people like that. you're going to get conflicting opinions, right? And that's the truth. There are people out there that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. I'm sorry about that. Who train just to be destructive or a badass, or and sometimes maybe everybody goes through that phase, but either grow up out of it or grow up out of it because of the instructor. There's no such thing as a bad student. It's just a bad instructor. So in that world, it leaks back in. Answer this for me today. In your world, are there people or moments that are not as empowering as others that you continually cycle back into your life? We say it again. In your world today, are there people, circumstances, events, ideas that are not so empowering for your growth or even your health or your benefit, for your happiness, that you allow to cycle back into your life? Sometimes by choice, sometimes by default. The default program is your subconscious. We were talking about this, remember? If you allow that default program to run and continually run, those things come back in. And it's like becoming a hypocrite to your universe. You know this doesn't belong, and you share with your universe or your thought or your God or yourself or your friends, this no more. This isn't going to happen. I am not this person anymore. This is not what I do. This is not who I am or what I want to become. Yet it comes back around. How do you avoid that? My suggestion is this. Get a journal, and instead of giving it power by thinking about it, a thought is an empty vessel that asks you to fuel it or fill it. A thought is an empty vessel that asks you to feel it, fill it, or fuel it. What I mean is give it emotion, give it substance, give it presence, give it attention. Well, pay attention to your attention and what you give attention to. That thought comes in, I used to do this, I was this way, or I feel like I need to eat that crap, or I'm treating people really badly. That thought is a recognition point that you can allow to exist and grow, be put on a shelf for later, or cut it loose. What attention will you give that thought? If you give it no attention, it dies. It goes away. The same two people can be in the same room and witness the same event and have two totally different lifestyle outcomes. A beautiful vase falls off a shelf and breaks on the floor, and the flowers that were in the vase have spilled amongst themselves all over the place. One person complains about oh man, that was a beautiful vase. How did that happen? Who's to blame? Where did that come from? Oh, this is terrible. We'll never have that vase again. What can I do? Who can I blame? How can I hate this? And that energy goes this way. Well, the other person stops to believe that we need to clean this up and take the flowers and redistribute them somewhere else without ever blaming the vase, the person, the instance, just recognizing what it was, handling it, and moving forward. There is a completely different way to look at that. You can just walk away. If it wasn't your vase, your flowers, your situation, your room, it has nothing to do with you. You can leave. How many of us would leave, though, and still want to go back and clean that mess up? That's my hypocritical moment. I want to fix things. Welcome to 10th Degree Dad. I don't know if I caught you and kept you, but that was a self-help for me, to remember and remind myself that not every thought needs attention, and the thoughts that reoccur that don't empower me need to be dealt with and put away. And some of those are very hypocritical. As you grow and try to move away from certain behaviors that may not be bad behaviors, just don't empower you for the future you, become repetitive, hypocritical to yourself. All right. Did it work? Did you catch it? It was kind of an interesting moment. when I have these moments and I channel things like that, there's probably somebody out there watching that goes, holy crap, how did he know that while I was going through that? And I love those moments. So I thought I would share with you, no matter what it was. You guys have a great day. I will be back on here. What's today? Today's Thursday. Hey, Thanksgiving's coming up, and I wasn't going to mention it until we got there, but I want you to know this now before you get busy in the holiday season. I love you guys, and I'm very thankful for you. I really am. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for giving me the thumbs up when you like it. Thank you for your feedback. And listen, thank you for being in my life. You guys are an important part of what I do. Every one of you that are watching, every one of you that respond, even the ones that don't respond, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, you have a great day. Until the next time, on your mark, get set, grow. Lots of love.